The alarm bells echoed through the halls of Earth Command. Admiral Quan Ho rushed down the metal corridors, his boots clicking against the floor. Something big was happening. The emergency call had woken him from his sleep at 3 in the morning. Lieutenant Hai Jin was waiting for him in the command center. Her face was pale and her hands shook slightly as she held the data pad. "Sir, we have a problem." "A very big problem." Quan Ho took the pad and read quickly. His eyes grew wide. "This can't be right." "Check it again." "I've checked it 5 times, sir. The intelligence is solid." Hai Jin pointed to the large screen on the wall. Red dots appeared across the star map. 3 alien races are working together. The Drakmor, the Veth, and the Foros. They've never done this before. The Drakmor were lizard-like creatures with sharp teeth and claws. They loved to fight and had conquered dozens of worlds. The Veth looked like walking crystals and had technology that could bend light itself. The Foros were made of pure energy and could pass through solid walls. Each race was dangerous alone. Together they were terrifying. Fleet Commander Taemin entered the room. His uniform was wrinkled and his hair was messy. He had been sleeping too. "Admiral, my scouts just sent more reports. The alien fleets are moving toward our space. All of them." Quan Ho felt a cold chill in his stomach. "How many ships?" "Over 2,000, sir. Maybe more." Taemin's voice was quiet. "The biggest fleet anyone has ever seen." Captain So Young burst through the doors. She was breathing hard from running. "Sir, I picked up their communications. They're talking about Earth. They want to attack us." The room went silent. Everyone stared at the star map. The red dots were moving closer to the blue dot that marked Earth's location. Humanity had been exploring space for only 300 years. Other races had been out there for thousands of years. But humans had spread fast, colonizing world after world. Maybe too fast. "Why do they want to attack us?" asked Hai Jin. So Young connected her datapad to the main screen. Alien voices filled the room, translated by the computer. The words were cold and angry. "The humans grow too strong too quickly," said a Drakmor voice. "They take worlds that should be ours." "Their expansion threatens the balance," added a Veth voice that sounded like breaking glass. "They must be stopped." "We will teach them their place," finished a Foros voice that crackled like electricity. "They will serve or they will burn." Admiral Quan Ho closed his eyes. He had feared this day would come. Humans had made enemies by growing so fast. Other races had taken thousands of years to build their empires. Humanity had done it in centuries. "How long do we have?" he asked. Taemin checked his scanner. "They'll reach our outer systems in 6 days. Earth's defenses in 8. Military commanders Jin Woo and Nari arrived together. They had been reviewing Earth's defenses all night. Jin Woo was tall and thin with worried eyes. Nari was shorter but tough, with scars on her hands from old battles. "We have 300 ships," Jin Woo reported. "Good ships, but not enough. Our weapons are advanced, but theirs are older and more powerful," added Nari. "They've had more time to perfect them." Quan Ho did the math in his head. 300 human ships against over 2,000 alien ships. The odds were impossible. "What about our allies?" asked Hai Jin. "The other races are staying neutral," So Young said sadly. "They're afraid. If they help us and we lose, the 3 empires will attack them next." The room felt heavy with fear. Everyone knew what this meant. Earth would stand alone against the largest attack force in galactic history. Commander Dong Hyun entered the room. He was in charge of protecting civilian stations and colonies. "Sir, should I begin evacuations?" Quan Ho nodded slowly. "Yes, move all civilians to the inner systems. Prepare emergency shelters on Earth." As Dong Hyun left to organize the evacuations, Captain Yu Jin stepped forward. She was Dong Hyun's sister and commanded a squadron of fast attack ships. "Sir, my ships can slow them down at the asteroid belt." "Buy you some time." "That's a suicide mission," Quan Ho said. Yu Jin smiled grimly. "Maybe, but every minute counts, right?" Quan Ho looked around the room at his officers. They were scared, but they were ready to fight. Humanity had always been good at fighting impossible odds. "There's something else," Taemin said quietly. "I'm getting reports of strange activity in the outer system. Ships moving in the Kuiper Belt." "Our ships?" asked Quan Ho. "I don't know, sir. The signatures are different." Before anyone could ask more questions, a new alarm sounded. The communications officer, Lieutenant Yoon-ji, looked up from her station. "Sir, priority message from Deep Space Command." The message was short and coded. Only Quan Ho could read it. His eyes went wide as he decoded the words. He looked around the room at his officers. then at the star map showing the approaching enemy fleets. Send a reply, he told Unji. Tell them the situation is critical. Ask if the project is ready. What project, sir? Asked Hyejin. Kwanho was quiet for a long moment. Outside the windows, Earth looked peaceful and blue. Soon alien warships would fill the space around it. Unless, I can't tell you, he said finally. It's classified above all our security levels. But there might be hope. The room buzzed with whispers. What could be more classified than their current situation? What project could help against such impossible odds? The star map updated again. The red dots were moving faster now. The alien fleets had increased speed. They wanted to reach Earth quickly before humanity could prepare better defenses. 6 days? Taemin repeated. They'll be here in 6 days. Kwanho looked at each of his officers. These brave men and women would fight to the end for Earth, but would it be enough? In the distance, his communications pad beeped with an incoming message. The response from Deep Space Command was even shorter than his question. Project status ready for deployment. Awaiting final authorization. For the first time since the crisis began, Admiral Kwanho smiled. The evacuation ships moved like bright dots against the black of space. Commander Dong-hyun watched them from the bridge of his command vessel. Thousands of civilians were leaving their homes, their jobs, their entire lives behind. Children pressed their faces against the windows, watching their space stations grow smaller. How many more? Dong-hyun asked his aide. 50,000 still waiting, sir. We need more time. Time, everything came down to time. They never had enough of it. Captain Yujin's voice crackled over the radio. Brother, I'm in position at the asteroid belt. My squadron is ready. Dong-hyun looked at the tactical display. His sister's 12 destroyers looked tiny against the vast emptiness of space. Soon, 2,000 enemy ships would come through that same area. 12 against 2,000. Yujin, you don't have to do this. Yes, I do. Her voice was calm. Someone has to slow them down. Better me than someone with kids. Yujin had never married, never had children. She said the stars were her family. Now she was willing to die for them. Far away in the cold darkness of the Kuiper Belt, Admiral Seok Jin received new orders. His hands trembled as he read the message. After 20 years in the military, he had never seen anything classified this high. Dr. Mi-young, he called to the scientist beside him. Are you sure this will work? Mi-young was a small woman with gray hair and tired eyes. She had spent 10 years working on something so secret that even she didn't know the full picture until today. The tests were successful, Admiral. But we've never used it in real combat, and if it fails, then Earth dies and so do we. Seok-jin looked out at the strange ship floating in space near his command vessel. It was huge, bigger than any ship he had ever seen. Its hull was black as night and its shape was wrong somehow. Human ships usually looked clean and bright. This one looked like it had been built for only one purpose, war. How long until it's ready? The launch sequence has already begun, Mi-young said. The AI is running final system checks now. AI, Seok-jin shivered. Humanity had banned artificial intelligence in weapons after the Titan Wars 50 years ago. Too dangerous, they said. Too unpredictable. But desperate times called for desperate measures. Meanwhile, the enemy fleets gathered near Jupiter. War leader Scareth stood on the bridge of his flagship, watching the gas giant storm swirl. He was 8 feet tall with green scales and yellow eyes. His claws clicked on the metal floor as he walked. The humans have pulled back their fleet, reported his scanner officer. They're gathering near Mars. Cowards, Scareth growled. Only 300 ships. This will be easier than hunting children. On another ship, Nexus Prime Veltar communicated with his crystal officers using flashes of light. The Veth didn't speak with sounds like other races. They talked with colors and brightness. Right now, Veltar was glowing with confidence. The third commander, Energy Sovereign Phalos, existed as pure electrical energy inside a special containment suit. His voice buzzed like lightning when he spoke. The humans have been lucky until now. Their luck ends today. The 3 commanders had spent weeks planning this attack. They would hit Earth from 3 directions at once. The human fleet couldn't protect everywhere. Even if humanity fought well, the odds were impossible. Back near Mars, Captain Hyunwoo paced on the bridge of the TNS Defiant. His ship was one of humanity's newest and strongest. But even the best human ships were smaller than the alien vessels heading their way. Sir, called Lieutenant Yoonji from her communication station. Strange message from Earth Command. What kind of strange? Just 3 words, sir. The wolf is loose, Hyunwoo frowned. He had never heard that code before. What did it mean? What was a wolf in space? His tactical officer, Lieutenant Bora, looked up from her screens. "Sir, the alien fleet is moving again. They're coming straight for us." On the main screen, Hyunwoo could see the enemy ships. They looked like metal cities floating in space. Each one was 5 times bigger than his own ship. Their weapons could crack planets, and their shields could stop anything humanity could throw at them. "All ships, this is Captain Hyunwoo," he said into his communicator. "Stay in formation. Fight with honor. Earth is counting on us. 300 human ships against 2,000 alien ships. Every captain knew the math. But they would fight anyway because that's what humans did." Admiral Seok Jin watched Dr. Mi Young work at her computer. Her fingers moved quickly over the controls. Numbers and symbols flashed on the screen too fast for him to follow. "The systems are responding well," she said. "All weapons are online. The power core is stable." "What exactly are we unleashing?" Seok Jin asked. Mi Young paused. "Something that should be impossible, Admiral. We're weaponizing gravity itself. Gravity, the force that held planets together and made stars burn. Humanity had learned to bend space and time for faster travel. But turning gravity into a weapon? That was the stuff of science fiction. The prototype tests destroyed entire moons," Mi Young continued. "We had to do them in empty space far from any colonies. And you think it will work against alien shields? Shields protect against energy and matter, Admiral. They can't protect against gravity. Nothing can." On Earth, Admiral Kwan Ho stood in the war room watching the tactical display. The alien fleets were 4 hours away from his defensive line at Mars. Once they broke through, it would take them less than 2 hours to reach Earth. "Any word from the outer system?" he asked. "Radio silence, sir," replied his communications officer. "Just like you ordered." Kwan Ho nodded. The secret had to be kept until the last possible moment. If the aliens detected what was coming, they might run away, and humanity might never get another chance. Captain So Young approached with a new report. "Sir, civilian evacuations are 90% complete. The remaining ships will reach the inner system within the hour." "Good. At least some of us will survive this." But even as he said it, Kwan Ho didn't believe it. If Earth fell, the aliens wouldn't stop there. They would hunt down every human colony, every ship, every last person. This wasn't just a battle for Earth, it was a battle for the survival of the human race. The tactical display beeped. The alien fleets had increased speed again. They were eager to finish this fight. 3.5 hours, reported Taimin. In the asteroid belt, Captain Yujin checked her weapons one last time. Her sister ships floated around her, small and fragile against the vastness of space. Soon they would face the most powerful fleet in galactic history. "All ships, this is Yujin," she said calmly. "Remember, we're not trying to win. We're buying time. Every second counts." Her pilots were young, most of them barely out of the academy, but they were ready to die for Earth. That had to count for something. Far away, Dr. Mi Young pressed the final button. "Launch sequence complete, Admiral." The wolf is awake. The alien fleet moved through space like a metal storm. 2,000 ships in perfect formation, their hulls gleaming under the distant sun. War leader Scareth watched the human defensive line grow larger on his screens. Such a small fleet. This would be over quickly. "Prepare to broadcast surrender terms," Scareth ordered. "The humans will submit or burn." Nexus Prime Veltar's crystalline form flickered with confident colors. His ships took position on the left flank. The Veth weapons could bend light itself, creating lasers that could cut through anything. Today, they would cut through human dreams of freedom. Energy, Sovereign Phalos crackled with electrical excitement. His energy-based ships moved to the right flank. The Foros could drain power from enemy vessels, leaving them helpless in space. The humans wouldn't even be able to run away. Captain Yujin watched the massive fleet approach her position in the asteroid belt. 12 human destroyers against hundreds of alien ships. She keyed her communicator one last time. "Earth Command, this is Yujin. Enemy contact in 30 seconds, beginning delaying action now." Her small fleet opened fire. Bright beams of energy reached across space, striking the alien shields. The enemy ships barely slowed down. Yujin's weapons were like throwing rocks at a mountain. "All ships scatter pattern," she ordered. "Make them work for it." The human destroyers split apart, dancing between the asteroids. The aliens returned fire, their massive weapons lighting up space. One by one, Yu Jin's ships began to disappear in balls of fire. But they bought precious minutes. Every second mattered. Admiral Quan Ho stood in Earth's command center, watching his brave officers die on the tactical display. Yu Jin's signal went dark. Then another. Then another. She did it, whispered Lieutenant Hyojin. She delayed them, but the delay was only minutes. The alien fleet rolled over the asteroid belt like a wave. Now nothing stood between them and Mars, where Captain Hyun-woo waited with humanity's main defense fleet. Enemy fleet approaching Mars, reported Commander Chan-woo from the TNS horizon. They're not even trying to hide their strength. The aliens were so confident they didn't bother with tactics. They just came straight forward, knowing their numbers would win the day. 300 human ships spread out in a defensive line, waiting for the storm to hit them. On the alien flagship, sensor operator Jae-sung suddenly looked up from his station. He was a Drakmor but younger than the others, with brighter green scales. War leader, I'm detecting something strange. What kind of strange? Scareth growled. A new contact on the edge of the system, very large, bigger than anything in our databases. Scareth looked at his main screen. A single dot appeared at the edge of sensor range. Identify it. AI. I can't, sir. It's not in any of our ship recognition files. Veltar's crystal form flashed with curiosity. Perhaps a human space station? No, Jae-sung said, his voice growing worried. It's moving, fast, and it's heading this way. Phalos crackled with electrical annoyance. One ship? Even if it's large, what can one ship do against our entire fleet? The unknown vessel came into visual range. It was enormous, easily twice the size of the largest alien battleship. Its hull was black as the space between stars, and its shape was unlike anything any of them had ever seen. It looked wrong, like it had been designed by something that understood war in a way others didn't. It's transmitting no identification codes, reported the communications officer. No surrender demands, no warnings, nothing. The mysterious ship simply moved toward the center of the alien formation. It showed no fear of the massive fleet surrounding it. If anything, it seemed to be hunting them. Captain Hyun-woo watched from the human defensive line. What is that thing? Lieutenant Yoon-ji checked her scanners frantically. It's definitely human design, sir, but it's not in any of our fleet databases. The power readings are impossible. Should we contact it? I'm trying, sir. It's not responding to our signals. The unknown ship reached the alien fleet and stopped. For a moment, space was perfectly quiet. 2,000 alien vessels surrounded the single mysterious ship. It should have been the end of the story. Then the impossible happened. The black ship's weapons activated. But these weren't normal weapons. Space itself began to bend around them. Reality twisted and warped in ways that hurt to look at. Lieutenant Bora stared at her tactical screen in shock. Sir, I don't understand these readings. It's like they're weaponizing gravity itself. The first alien ship simply vanished. Not destroyed, not exploded. It just ceased to exist, sucked into a point of twisted space-time that appeared for a split second and then disappeared. War Leader Scareth roared in fury and confusion. All ships fire! Destroy that thing! 2,000 alien weapons opened fire at once. The space around the mysterious ship lit up like a small star. Energy beams, plasma cannons, and particle weapons all struck at the same moment. The alien commanders smiled, sure that nothing could survive such an attack. But when the light faded, the black ship was still there, undamaged, unmoved. Then it returned fire. What followed wasn't a battle. It was an execution. The mysterious ship's weapons created tears in space itself. Gravity wells that consumed entire squadrons. Black holes that appeared, ate alien vessels and then vanished as if they had never existed. Enemy shields that could stop planet-cracking weapons were useless against the fundamental forces of the universe. Nexus Prime Veltar's crystalline form flashed with panic colors. His ships tried to escape, but space itself seemed to be working against them. Gravity grabbed them and pulled them into nothing. Energy-sovereign Phalos watched his energy-based ships drain away into the dark tiers in reality. His electrical form flickered with fear. This was beyond anything they had prepared for. Commander Chan Wu watched his scanner in amazement. The alien fleet it's disappearing, dozens of ships every few seconds. Captain Hyun-woo couldn't believe what he was seeing. How many are left? 1,600, 1,400, 1,200. Bora's voice grew more amazed with each count. Sir, they're losing 50 ships every 10 seconds. On Earth, Admiral Kwan Ho watched the tactical display with silent awe. The red dots representing alien ships vanished so fast the computer could barely keep up. In less than 3 minutes, over half the enemy fleet was gone. Dr. Mi Young, watching from her secret station in the Kuiper Belt, smiled grimly. The gravity weapons are working perfectly, better than we hoped. How much power does that ship have? Admiral Seok Jin asked. Enough to crack a moon, Admiral. We built it to fight entire fleets alone. The alien commanders tried everything. They scattered their fleets. They concentrated their fire. They attempted to ram the mysterious ship. Nothing worked. The black vessel moved through their formation like death itself, leaving empty space where proud warships had once been. Scareth broadcast a desperate message to his remaining ships. Retreat, all ships retreat. But there was nowhere to run. The mysterious ship was faster than anything they had. It hunted them down one by one, its gravity weapons turning proud battleships into expanding clouds of metal and regret. Lieutenant Bora watched her scanner with growing amazement. 1,000 ships remaining. 800. 600. The greatest fleet in galactic history was being destroyed by a single vessel. The aliens who had come to conquer Earth were learning what terror truly meant. 400 ships left, sir, Bora reported. No, 300, 200. In exactly 4 minutes and 17 seconds, it was over. The space where 2,000 alien ships had once floated was now filled only with debris and the slow expansion of metal fragments. The mysterious black ship hung motionless among the wreckage, its weapons powering down. Around it, a few dozen escape pods drifted helplessly, the only survivors of the most powerful fleet ever assembled. The galaxy would never be the same. Silence filled space where moments before the greatest battle in galactic history had raged. The mysterious black ship floated among clouds of metal debris that had once been 2,000 alien warships. Captain Hyun-woo stared at his tactical screen, unable to believe what he had witnessed. Status report, he said quietly. Lieutenant Bora checked her scanners 3 times before answering. Enemy fleet? Completely destroyed, sir. I count 73 escape pods scattered across the area. No intact warships remain. Time elapsed. 4 minutes and 17 seconds from first weapon discharge to last enemy vessel destroyed. 4 minutes. The most powerful fleet in galactic history, carrying weapons that could crack planets and shields that could deflect stars, had lasted 4 minutes against a single human ship. Admiral Minho tried to establish contact with the mysterious vessel. Unknown human ship, this is Admiral Minho of Earth Defense Command. Please respond. Static filled the communication channels. The black ship made no reply. Captain Soo-jin ran deep scans on the unknown vessel from her science ship. The readings made no sense. Admiral, the power signatures are beyond anything in our databases. The energy output suggests a reactor the size of a small moon. Any idea what kind of weapons it used? The computer can't identify them, sir. But based on the effects, Soo-jin paused, checking her readings again. I think they weaponized gravity. They created controlled black holes. Dr. Sang-wook, Earth's top expert on alien technology, studied the debris field. What he found made his hands shake. These alien ships had armor made from neutron star material, shields powered by miniature stars, weapons that could destroy entire moons, and they were swept aside like paper in a hurricane. The escape pods contained the survivors of 3 mighty civilizations. War leader Scareth, once proud commander of the Drakmor fleet, now floated helplessly in a tiny rescue craft. His yellow eyes had lost their fierce light. For the first time in his warrior life, he felt true fear. Please, his broken voice transmitted across all frequencies. We surrender. We beg for mercy. Nexus Prime Veltar's crystalline form flickered weakly in his escape pod. The proud leader who had commanded 1,000 crystal ships now pulsed with colors of defeat and terror. The Veth had rules about honorable death in battle. There was no honor in being erased by forces beyond understanding. Energy Sovereign Phalos crackled feebly in his containment suit. His electrical form was dim, barely holding together. The Foros Empire had ruled 100 worlds for 10,000 years. Now their greatest fleet was space dust, and their sovereign was begging for his life. Commander Gildong coordinated the rescue operations. Despite everything the aliens had tried to do to Earth, humanity still picked up their escape pods. It was the human way. Bring them aboard. Medical teams standing by. The alien survivors were in shock. They babbled about impossible weapons and ships that shouldn't exist. Human doctors tried to help them, but their trauma went deeper than physical wounds. They had seen their entire understanding of warfare shattered in 4 minutes. The mysterious ship began to move toward the outer system. As it passed the human fleet, Admiral Minho tried communication again. Unknown vessel, Earth Command requests identification. This time there was an answer. The voice that came through the speakers was calm and professional, unmistakably human. Threat neutralized. Returning to station. Project Titan remains classified. Then the ship was gone, disappearing into hyperspace faster than any vessel should have been able to move. Captain In-Su led the investigation of the debris field. His forensics teams collected samples of alien technology for study. What they found amazed and terrified them. Each alien ship had been more advanced than anything humanity had built. "Look at this armor plating," In-Su told his science officer. "It's nearly indestructible. Our best weapons wouldn't even scratch it. And their shields? Designed to stop energy weapons 10 times more powerful than ours. These ships were built to fight wars we can't even imagine. Yet, they had all been destroyed in 4 minutes by weapons that turned physics into a weapon." Admiral Jun-Ho received a classified briefing about Project Titan. He sat alone in a secure room, reading documents that made his blood run cold. The project had consumed resources equal to building 500 warships. It had taken the galaxy's best scientists 10 years to make theory into reality. Dr. Ye Jin and physicist Wu Sung led the theoretical work, the report said. They discovered how to weaponize gravity itself, creating controlled space-time distortions. The prototype vessel TNS Nemesis was built in complete secrecy in the Kuiper Belt. The report continued with technical details that Jun-Ho barely understood: gravity weapons, space-time manipulation, power sources that bent the laws of physics. Humanity had built weapons that made traditional warfare obsolete. News of the battle spread across the galaxy at light speed. Ambassador Kyung-min received urgent messages from dozens of alien civilizations. Species that had ignored humanity for centuries now desperately wanted to talk. "The Altarian Republic requests immediate diplomatic relations," his aide reported. "The Zephyrian Council offers a non-aggression pact. The Stellar Federation wants to establish trade agreements." Fear was a powerful diplomat. Every alien government now understood that humanity possessed weapons beyond their comprehension. The species they had dismissed as newcomers had just proven they could destroy any fleet in the galaxy. Captain Hei-Wan commanded a deep space patrol ship on the edge of human territory. Her long-range scanners detected massive fleet movements throughout the galaxy. But these fleets weren't moving toward Earth. "They're all pulling back," she reported to Earth Command. "Every major alien navy is retreating to defensive positions. They're creating buffer zones between themselves and our territory." The galaxy was reorganizing itself around a new reality. Humanity was no longer the young species to be pushed around. They were the apex predator that everyone else feared. Dr. Dong Jin, the project's lead theoretical physicist, was finally allowed to brief select military leaders about the true scope of Project Titan. His presentation lasted 3 hours and left his audience stunned. TNS Nemesis was only the prototype, he explained. Construction has already begun on 5 additional vessels. Each one incorporates improvements based on combat data from today's engagement. 6 ships like that? Admiral Kwan-Ho asked. 6 ships that can each destroy entire fleets single-handedly. We call them the Titan-class dreadnoughts. The galaxy has never seen anything like them. The implications were staggering. Humanity hadn't just won a defensive victory. They had achieved absolute military supremacy in a single battle. War leader Scarith, recovering in a human medical facility, spoke to his interrogators with broken spirit. We thought we were hunters coming for prey. We discovered that some prey are more dangerous than any predator. His words would be remembered across the galaxy. The three greatest military powers in known space had combined their fleets to crush humanity. Instead, they had awakened something terrible and beautiful. In the debris field, human salvage crews worked to recover alien technology. Each piece they found told the same story. The aliens had built their fleets to fight conventional wars with conventional weapons. They had never imagined facing weapons that could manipulate the fundamental forces of the universe. Admiral Quan Ho stood in his office on Earth, looking out at the stars. Reports flowed in from across human space. Alien fleets in full retreat, diplomatic requests pouring in, fear spreading through every government in the galaxy. Humanity had wanted to explore the stars in peace. Instead, they had been forced to become warriors. Today, they had proven they were very good at it. The age of human expansion was about to begin, and the galaxy would never be the same. 3 weeks after the battle, Captain Insu finished his investigation of the debris field. His final report contained findings that changed everything humanity thought they knew about their place in the galaxy. Each alien ship was a masterpiece of engineering. Insu told the gathering of Earth's top military leaders. Their armor was forged from materials found inside neutron stars. Their weapons could have destroyed our largest cities with single shots. Their shields were powered by contained stellar plasma. Admiral Quan Ho leaned forward. And our mystery ship destroyed them all. Not destroyed, sir, erased. The gravity weapons didn't blow the ships apart. They compressed them out of existence. Most of the debris we found came from secondary explosions, not direct weapon hits. Dr. Sang-wook had been studying captured alien technology for weeks. His findings were equally disturbing. The Drakmor ships carried planet cracker missiles. The Veth had light-bending shields that should have been impossible to penetrate. The Foros vessels could drain power from an entire solar system. Should have been impossible? Asked Captain So-young. These technologies represent thousands of years of development. Each alien race had perfected warfare in ways we're only beginning to understand. They came here with the combined military knowledge of 3 galactic empires. The room was quiet as everyone absorbed this information. Humanity had faced the most advanced military force in galactic history and defeated it in 4 minutes. Admiral Jun Ho received another classified briefing about Project Titan. This time, Dr. Yejin herself delivered the report. She was a small woman with tired eyes, but her words carried the weight of changed worlds. The theoretical work began 15 years ago, she explained. We discovered that gravity could be concentrated and directed like any other force. But the power requirements were enormous. How enormous? Junho asked. The TNS Nemesis draws power from a contained black hole. We built a miniature version of what exists at the center of galaxies. The room went silent. Humanity had harnessed the power of black holes and turned it into weapons. Physicist Wu Sung continued the briefing. The gravity weapons create temporary distortions in space-time. They literally fold reality around the target, compressing it into a point smaller than an atom. The target doesn't explode or burn, it simply stops existing. And the 5 new ships under construction? Each one is larger and more powerful than the Nemesis. We've solved the power distribution problems and increased weapon capacity by 300%. Ambassador Kyung-min was overwhelmed with diplomatic requests. His office received 50 new communications, each day from alien governments wanting to establish relations with humanity. The Rigelian Confederacy offers exclusive mining rights to 12 star systems, his aide reported. The Procyon Alliance wants to share their medical technology. The Sirius Collective is offering to teach us their faster-than-light communications. All of them wanted the same thing, to make sure humanity saw them as friends, not enemies. The galaxy had learned that making enemies of humans was a fatal mistake. Captain Haewon's deep space patrols confirmed what intelligence reports had suggested. Every major alien civilization was reorganizing their military strategies around the new human threat. They're not just retreating, she reported to Earth Command. They're completely changing how they think about warfare. The Altarian Republic has scrapped their entire fleet expansion program. The Veth Collective is building defensive stations instead of attack ships. The psychological impact of the 4-minute battle had shattered galactic military thinking. If humanity could destroy the greatest fleet ever assembled so easily, what was the point of building traditional weapons? War leader Scareth, now a prisoner of war on Earth, gave interviews to human journalists. His words were broadcast across the galaxy, spreading the legend of human military power. "We studied your species for years before attacking," he said, his reptilian features drawn with exhaustion. "We knew you were expanding quickly. We knew you had good technology. But we never imagined you possessed weapons that could bend reality itself." "Why did you attack?" the interviewer asked. "Because we were afraid. Humanity spread across the galaxy in just a few centuries. Other races took thousands of years to achieve what you did in generations. We thought if we didn't stop you early, you would become too powerful to challenge. And now?" Scareth's laugh was bitter. "Now we know we were already too late. Humanity was always too powerful to challenge. We just didn't realize it." His words became famous across the galaxy. The Scareth Confession, as historians would later call it, marked the moment when alien civilization stopped seeing humans as upstart newcomers and started seeing them as the galaxy's apex predators. Dr. Dongjin revealed more details about Project Titan to an expanded group of military planners. The full scope of the project was breathtaking. "We didn't just build 6 ships," he explained. "We developed an entirely new theory of warfare. Traditional military thinking assumes ships fight ships, fleets fight fleets. But what if one ship could fight entire civilizations?" The Titan-class dreadnoughts represented a new kind of military vessel. Each ship was designed to operate alone, carrying enough firepower to destroy any conventional fleet. They were mobile bases of operations that could project human power across the entire galaxy. "The second ship, TNS Kronos, will be ready for deployment in 6 months," Dongjin continued. "The third, TNS Hyperion, in 8 months. By the end of the year, humanity will possess a fleet that can destroy any military force in the galaxy." Commander Gildong had been placed in charge of alien relations. His job was to manage the dozens of species now desperately seeking human friendship. The work was overwhelming. "They're all terrified," he reported to Admiral Quanho. "Species that ruled star empires for millennia are acting like frightened children. The psychological impact of the battle has been greater than the physical damage." "What are they offering?" "Everything. Technology, resources, territory, trade agreements. The Centauri Republic wants to give us an entire star system just to guarantee we won't attack them." Humanity found itself in a position no species in galactic history had ever occupied. They had achieved absolute military supremacy through superior technology rather than conquest. Other civilizations weren't just defeated, they were obsolete. Captain Hyunwoo, now promoted to admiral, established new patrol routes along the expanding borders of human space. Alien governments begged permission before sending ships anywhere near human territory. "They request safe passage 3 days in advance," he reported. "They provide complete manifests of their cargo and crew. They offer to pay fees for using space lanes near our systems." Lieutenant Bora, now his tactical officer, monitored alien fleet movements. "No hostile formations detected anywhere within 50 light-years of human space, sir. They're maintaining the buffer zone." The galaxy was reorganizing itself around human power. Trade routes changed to accommodate human expansion. Diplomatic protocols were rewritten to acknowledge humanity's new status. Even the language of galactic politics changed, with terms like pre-human and post-human entering common usage. Insu's final report on the battle's aftermath was classified at the highest levels. His conclusions were stark and revolutionary. "The 4-minute battle didn't just defeat 3 alien fleets," he wrote. "It ended the era of conventional warfare. Any military force using traditional weapons and tactics is now obsolete. Humanity has achieved what military theorists call absolute technological superiority." The report continued. "The psychological impact on alien civilizations cannot be overstated. They didn't just lose a battle. They discovered that their entire understanding of military power was wrong. Most alien governments are now focused on internal restructuring rather than external military adventures." 5 months after the battle, Admiral Quanho stood again in his office, looking out at the stars. But everything had changed. Human colonies were expanding rapidly, no longer worried about alien interference. Trade convoys moved freely through space that had once been dangerous. The galaxy's most powerful civilizations competed to offer humanity the best deals. Reports arrived daily from across human space. The Rigelian Confederacy had opened their borders to human expansion, The Veth Collective was sharing technology they had kept secret for thousands of years. The Foros Empire, once proud rulers of 100 worlds, now asked permission before moving their fleets within 50 light-years of human territory. Status of the new dreadnoughts? Quanho asked his aide. TNS Kronos completed space trials last week, sir. TNS Hyperion begins weapon testing next month. The remaining 3 ships are ahead of construction schedule. 6 Titan-class dreadnoughts, each one capable of destroying entire fleets single-handedly. Humanity would soon possess the power to reshape the galaxy according to their will. But perhaps the most remarkable change was in humanity itself. They had discovered they were not just survivors or explorers. When pushed to the edge of extinction, they had proven they were the galaxy's ultimate warriors. The 3 alien commanders who had come to humble humanity now served as living reminders of what happened to those who threatened Earth. Their testimony spread across the galaxy, ensuring that no other civilization would make the same mistake.